A writer needs many tools in order to write their works. Today, we're going to talk about several that I think are indispensable. First, I want to talk to you about a couple of tools that Google provides for completely free that will help every writer. So here I'm using books.google.com to look up a particular quote that I am interested in finding the reference for. When you are creating a book that is providing quotations from different other books, you need to give proper reference. So I just happen to have one at the ready here, no tears in the writer, no tears in the reader. So we're going to look this quote up and see if we can find a proper citation if we're going to use this in our manuscript or our nonfiction. We're going to quote it ourselves in our own book. Okay, so we're going to do a quick search here. Okay, so I happen to know this is a Robert Frost quote, so it won't always be the first one. I happen to pick one that I knew was going to come up, so you might have a little more difficulty in finding this. But this quote is from the Robert Frost Reader, Poetry and Prose, and this is telling me it's on page 440. So if you click on that, this is going to actually bring up the book. Now, this is, of course, books that are in the public domain that are available within Google. So you'll see right here, of course, it's searching for every word in that quotation, but here is the full quotation. So I know it is from this reader, no tears in the writer, no tears in the reader, and it is on page 440. Now, so you know that this is where your quote comes from. So now let me show you another great thing about this. So here's all the information Google is giving us, the Robert Frost Reader, Poetry and Prose by Robert Frost. This happens to be a 2002 version. It does not have to be the original quote, but look at this great thing right here. Create citation. Look, Chicago Manual of Style, here's your citation. All you would need to do is copy this and put it on your reference page. If you're using MLA, you're using APA, you can search for other formats. Here are several other formats. Most books, unless you're doing specific academic works, are going to use these. We're going to use Chicago Manual of Style. So this is exactly how you want it to be done. So you just copy that, and then you would go to your manuscript and put that on your EndNote page. Here's another great tool from Google, and this goes along that same website, books.google.com/ngrams/. This is the ngram viewer. This helps you to find words when they were first utilized in books. So you can see here that our parameters are from 1800 to 2019. This only goes up to 2019. This is, I'm using English, but you can use American English, British English, wherever you want to, whatever language you're choosing, case sensitive smoothing. So one of the words that I see the most often in novels, especially sometimes historical novels that I'm really not sure about, is the word okay. So we're going to search for the word okay. All right, so this shows us that it was really not used. See these figures down here as I go along the scale? Not used a lot. It was in the lexicon, but it was not used that much. So we come along here and you see that around 1977 into the 1980s, it starts to be used a lot more. And of course, up to this time today, in 2016 and 2019, it has dropped down a little bit, which is interesting. In books. Remember, this is in books. So if your character is, say, set in the 1800s, 1812 or so, they probably are not using this word a lot. So let's look up the word internet. Again, you can see that obviously the word internet was not used in books a lot before 1980. This is when it became more popular and obviously, started to be included in books a lot more. Now, let's look up another word that might have been more in older novels. All right, I'm using the word alas. We really don't use that much anymore. You can see from 2013, 14, it was up a little bit, but it was most used in 1806. Okay, now remember, this is in books because we're in the Google Books portion of Google. So this is where this word occurs the most from 1800 to 2019 in books, which is probably when it's a good indication of when that word was most often used. So the Ngram Viewer from Google Books is also another great place, especially if you're writing historical fiction, to check to see if your characters would have actually been using this word. So these are just two resources that writers can use free from Google. I will be making more of these types of videos with resources for writers, so keep checking back with me. Remember to like this video and subscribe so that you can get those notices for when I do the other ones of these resources for writers videos. And also be sure to leave me a comment and let me know if you've tried out these resources and how they helped you, or let me know of some resources that you'd like me to share.